Of Tuesday, July 9th. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Beagle.
I'm present.
Deputy Mayor Resident.
Present.
Councilmember Behrman.
Present.
Councilmember Gatto.
Here.
Councilmember Brendan Fox. Here. Councilmember Sharp.
Present.
Councilmember Smiley.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Changes or additions to the agenda as presented tonight. Assistant City Manager Benson.
I have none, sir.
Good. Any from the dais? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our first item of business tonight, and that's a presentation, and it's the reaffirmation of the oath of firefighter EMT for Logan Sweeney and Maggie Lambert. Chief Geisler?
Thank you, sir. Members of council. Tonight I have the privilege to introduce to you two of our newest full-time firefighters that actually just got to start yesterday as full-time. Over the past year, they've worked extremely hard to get where they're at, and I'm very proud of where they've come and to see their future moving forward. So at this time, I'd like to bring up Logan Sweeney. Logan joined the Wixom Fire Department as an auxiliary firefighter in February of 2023. He was previously with the Brighton Area Fire Authority as a paid-on-call firefighter for 3 years. Over the last year, he has stepped up to the plate and done everything that we've asked for him, and I couldn't be more proud of him. So tonight, Logan is joined by his wife, Kaylin, his father and stepmother, Ryan and Carolyn, and his brother, Bauer, his sister, Josephine, and his in-laws, Jeffrey and Colleen, and their daughter, Kylie. Madam Clerk.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Wixom, Oakland County, Michigan, and I will faithfully discharge the duties and responsibilities of firefighter or EMT to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
Next, Maggie, will you please come up? Maggie joined the fire department in October of 2023, shortly after completing her academies, where she both obtained Fire 1 and 2 and EMT certifications. Maggie is joined tonight by her parents, Kurt and Sherry, and her grandma Sue, brother Jonah, and sister Kelsey.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, the Charter and ordinances of the City of Wixom, Oakland County, Michigan, and I will faithfully discharge the duties and responsibilities of firefighter EMT according to the best of my ability. Congratulations, Maggie.
All right, this time we're going to take a brief 10-minute break for a reception to honor our two newest firefighters.
Make sure the mayor's
We'll resume the council meeting. Up next is the approval of minutes. We got two sets of minutes to approve tonight. The first set of minutes is the special city council meeting of June 25th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Support.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I got a motion and a second to approve the special city council meeting minutes of June 25th, 2024. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Second set of minutes tonight is the regular city council meeting minutes of June 25th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I got a motion and a second to approve the regular city council meeting minutes of June 25th, 2024. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. We have one item of correspondence tonight, and that's adopt the road program resolution of recognition of Natera North America Incorporated, which moves us to the first call to the public. The rules to the call to the public are as follows. The public shall address the council during the call to the public, which shall be included on the agenda immediately after correspondence and again immediately after new business. First call to the public immediately after correspondence shall be limited to agenda items only. A person shall not address the council in excess of 5 minutes unless the time is extended by a majority vote of the council present. Persons wishing to address the council shall identify themselves and their place of residence and shall state their reason for addressing the council, and all comments by the public shall be made directly to the council. Do we have anybody for the first call to the public? Seeing none, I'll close the first call to the public. City managers' reports. We have 3 tonight. The first one is the fire monthly report of May 2024. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the second city manager's report, which is the police monthly report for May 2024. Any questions? Seeing none. The third one is the wastewater monthly report of 2024. Any questions? Councilmember Sharp?
Thank you, Mayor. Are we moving this to different cadence, the wastewater, rather than the departmental reports they used to be under? For going forward, or is it a special report?
Go ahead, Tim.
I just noticed that I could ask.
No, that's all right. There'll actually be 2 monthly reports this month because, due to Ruben being out of the country for a little bit, we ended up moving it this week.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So we'll be back on the regular cadence.
We're on regular schedule,
The
yeah.
second
Yes.
report of the month. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any other questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. And all items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which the event the items will be removed from the consent agenda and added to the regular agenda at the end of unfinished or new business. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Support.
I got a motion and a support to approve the consent agenda as presented tonight. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have no unfinished business tonight, so that moves us on to new business. New business number 1 is a recommendation to confirm the mayor's appointments of Vanessa Willett to the Planning Commission with a term to expire June 30th, 2025. J. Michael Dornan to the Planning Commission with a term to expire June 30th, 2026. And Arvid Peterson to the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire June 30th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Thank you. These are, we have 2 openings on the Planning Commission right now, one in the Zoning Board of Appeals. I went through, I had some applications, and I've decided to bring these next 3 people up to the council for approval for the appointments to their position. All 3 of them are here tonight. Vanessa, would you like to come up first and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, Vanessa Willett, 1455 Cranberry Court, Wixom, Michigan. I have had a background in environmental construction and demolition services throughout the U.S. For over 20 years. And I'm on the DDA currently, and I'm looking forward to the Planning Commission and hopefully helping and maybe giving some guidance where needed. And I'm excited to be on the Planning Commission.
Any questions for Vanessa?
I also thank Councilmember Gaccio. We had a discussion this weekend. He had some questions, and I appreciate the questions, and I hope I answered everything appropriately.
Very good. Any other? Go ahead. Councilmember Smiley.
Thank you, Mayor Beagle. I just wanted to say thank you and hello. I didn't get a chance to say hi to you out there, Vanessa. I've talked to you before, and I'm excited that you're doing this. Thank you
I think
again.
we've got a lot of great things coming to Wixom, and I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you.
You're welcome. Next up, Mike, you want to come up? You got 5 minutes, though.
My name is Mike Dornan, and I reside at 2192 Headingham Boulevard. And I was interested in filling in the vacancies on the Planning Commission. I want to tell you that I'm passionate about assisting the city in fulfilling its goals, the city council goals, the administrative goals, and the goals of the public at large. And one of my strongest attributes is loyalty, and I'm pleased to offer my years of experience in municipal urban planning, community development, and so forth. So, thanks for the opportunity.
Any questions for Mike? Councilmember Sharp?
Mike, we've met before. For those of you that don't know, Mike's son is married to my daughter, but I don't need to recuse myself for this vote, apparently. But thanks, Mike, for volunteering, and Pat for nominating. It'd be a great add to the Planning Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I get my extra minutes?
Sure.
No.
All right, and Arvid Peterson, want to come up? Arvid's my recommendation to be on the Zoning Board of Appeals.
First, I want to say thank you for considering me. Okay, I have been on the ZBA before. I was on it someplace between 18 and 20 years. I'm still on Building Board of Review. I was on Vision 2000. And I've lived here since '73. And I've lived all around the world. I've lived in England, South America, out east, down in Indianapolis. Never sold my home. Always came back to Wixom because my passion and love has always been there. And I've watched Wixom grow, and I can't wait to see how it grows in the future, because you can't have a community that's at a plateau. You either drop down or you continue to go up, and I see Wixom doing that. And again, I thank you. My experience, I've been a builder. I owned my company for 45 years, maybe 50. And fast-track builder, airport construction primarily, got out of residential. And I think I can give some guidance and help. I pride myself on knowing ordinances and the guides, okay? And I'm looking forward to doing this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you again. Any questions?
Any questions? All
Come on,
right.
blast me. You got your chance right now.
No? Go ahead, Councilmember Smiley.
Sure. You told me some of that. We were talking a lot, during the break. That's a fantastic testament to Wixom. I know we're all biased up here, how great Wixom is, but I don't know. I believe it, and just hearing your story, keeping your house all those years, through all those different places you lived, that's just I can't think of a better testament to how great Wixom is. So thank you.
Well, I was raised in inner city Birmingham, and I moved to Wixom, and I feel that I just stepped up is what I did. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to confirm the mayor's appointments of Vanessa Willis to the Planning Commission with a term to expire June 30th, 2025. J. Michael Dornan to the Planning Commission with a term to expire June 30th, 2026, and Arvid Peterson to the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire June 30th, 2025. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, and thank you up here. I'm really excited to see what these 3 new members of these committees are going to be doing, and I know they're going to add a bunch of experience and a new set of eyes and ears to all their committees, so thank you. New business number 2 is a recommendation to enter into a real estate listing agreement with Civilis Incorporated of Birmingham, Michigan for the Renton redevelopment properties located at 117, 119, 121, 125, and 127 North Wixom Road, and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Support.
Very good. Assistant City Manager Benson?
Thank you, Mayor. And I do want to make one clarification off the start here. I apologize, in your agenda item, I actually didn't list every single address. They are listed in the actual agreement itself that is up for consideration here. This would be for all of the properties that the city owns in the Renton redevelopment area, including 205, 201, 221 North Wixom, as well as 3343 and 3360 Renton. I imagine that you all would be familiar for that, but for the record, I did want to say the intent of this listing agreement is to help us with marketing the properties that the city has owned and or purchased with the intent of seeking redevelopment at the northwest corner of Wixom Road and Pontiac Trail in our downtown. Again, as you all are familiar, we are in the process of seeking to demolish the remaining existing structures there that are blighted and dilapidated, and staff has been working with our kind of internal team to market these properties originally through a request for qualifications process that lasted for about 4 months, as well as doing direct outreach. And we came to the point that we felt that the city may benefit from the services of a commercial real estate broker with experience, specifically experience in helping public entities like ourselves find redevelopment for key projects. Our desired outcomes are different than maybe your traditional seller who will sell to anyone for the right price. We're much more concerned about outcomes, and that was a key consideration as we looked at prospective options for a real estate broker to present to you all. So we did solicit proposals from a few, about 5 qualified firms that are larger firms that you would recognize. Of those 5, we received 4 proposals. After going through an internal review process, we found that the fee structures and a lot of those key pieces are all similar with any commercial real estate broker you may work with. But what really set Savills apart was their understanding of really what we hope to achieve here, right? That we're focused on outcomes, we're focused on community development, and really leveraging this opportunity to build the kind of downtown that we want. And we were all very impressed with Savills' experience doing that. We do have Dan Jacob, who's the Managing Director for Retail Services and Development Advisory Services with Savills here tonight. And he can help answer any questions that you may have. The key provisions of this prospective listing agreement are that it would be a 1-year term, and we are agreeing to the traditional 6% commission schedule that you would find on most real estate projects. But it also includes it's 6% of the sales price or a minimum of $60,000, and that differentiation specifically takes into account the idea that the city may be inclined to take less than the highest possible value for this property to find the right project. They recognize what our intent is in finding the right people to develop this property, not just whoever will pay the most. And so we felt, and I give them a lot of credit for really being thoughtful about how to structure a deal that works for them and really helps them maximize the effort that they'll put into helping us market to developers and tenants, while also being inclusive of what we hope to achieve and some of the tools that we have in play to facilitate that. So with that in mind, I'll pass it over to Dan.
Dan Jacob. I've been doing this 32 years. I've worked with a ton of developers. I've been in brokerage and development and probably developed over 20 million feet of property over 30 years. And I worked with many municipalities. Very challenging. What they want here and what's reality over here has always been a balancing act, but we know the reality and they're really receptive to the possibilities. I've even called a few developers on the side just to get some momentum, and some of the challenges where, construction costs are super high, interest rates are high, and the rents in Wixom are low. So they got to figure how that's going to balance and make that work. So it's going to be a combination of things. And we've worked with the city of Dearborn, Shelby, Clinton Township. We've worked with Brighton. We've worked with a lot of different municipalities over different projects. And it's always been our spirit to execute what the city's looking for, what's in the spirit of the city, and try and find developers or interests that would follow that path. And that's what we're good at. I've got a great team. Savills is an international firm. We're based out of London. but we've got a group of local guys that have been in the business almost as long as me. That's part of our team that you've met. And Pete, who's the main guy, has been in analytics for 15 years. He's not here today. His dad had surgery. But we've got a team that understands the dynamics and what you want to try and accomplish. And hopefully we can execute that. Do you have any questions?
Before I get into questions, I just want to make this clear. On the listing agreement, it says the property known as, on the contract that I have here, it's 119, 121, 131, 201, 205, and 221. It doesn't have 117, 125, and 127 on there. So is it all those?
No, so, good point of clarification. 117, 125, and 127 are mailing addresses. They're not addresses for parcels. So it's an odd distinction. The listing agreement has it correct. Those are the addresses of the parcels that we are looking to sell. I believe, and this is my fault, in the agenda item, I transposed addresses that we had been using for, I actually believe it was for demolition. And it slipped my mind to also include 3343 and 3360 Renton.
So before any more discussion, do we have to amend the motion, or?
You should.
Okay. Who made the motion to approve? Who approved the motion? Madam Clerk, do you have that? Who made the?
Yeah.
Who approved the motion?
Yeah, it was, Tom made the motion and Peter Sharp seconded.
All right. So
I'll amend the motion to include
the
we can list them out.
119.
119, 121,
121,
131,
131,
201,
201,
221,
221,
205,
205,
along with 3343
along with 3343
and 3360 Renton.
and 3360 Renton.
Support. Very good. Okay, questions? Deputy Mayor Resnick.
Thank you. Mr. Jacob, thanks for coming today. One of the things I noticed in the case studies, it was downtown Detroit and a lot of the other experienced projects that were in our packet show large urban settings with established downtowns. Have you had experience listing in smaller suburban towns like a Wixom?
I worked extensively in the city of Shelby, where they were trying to develop a downtown. It never really took off. The biggest challenge they had was that, you had they had Lakeside Mall across the street, which was 2 million feet, and retail. Lakeside Mall and 2 million feet of retail. So the downtown was challenged, with a lot of radius restrictions with almost all the retailers. You can't be within 5 miles. So it kind of got watered down, but we did had some of the concept in that. I've worked mostly in neighborhood centers, from Ann Arbor area all the way up to Shelby, Washington, Troy. So it's been, and I worked extensively in the city of Birmingham doing mixed-use projects. I did the Palladium project, which is a huge building in downtown Birmingham that was entertainment themed, and I've sold and developed several properties that have been demolished and raised as mixed use, like we're doing here, retail first floor, residential. So it's been good.
Projects in Dearborn as well?
Dearborn's been great. We have a lot of things. Dearborn's got a lot going on, like you guys. They're looking to tap into some of the development dollars that are out there by the government. They're tapping into some of the entertainment and hospitality. So we've been with them. We have a lot of properties that theirs listed, like you guys. We have probably 8 parcels, and 3 of them are mixed use. So, and we are qualifying people that are buying that they're going to do the spirit of what the city wants. So it's been everybody wants to buy something and steal it and not do what the city wants. And we've been kicking people out, saying you have to propose what you want with your offer, and then they have to review it, and then you have to live by that. So we've been good at qualifying people. I know Guy Rizzo really well, who owns the project. Yeah, it's been challenging. He's one of the guys I called, and it was a short conversation, but it was good.
Well, good luck with that. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Councilmember Behrman?
Just for clarification, is this including the parcel in front of the school as well? Be marketed with it?
It is not specifically, as we mentioned with the original request for qualifications, that does not exclude, if there were a reason that needed to be included, it certainly can. There's, because any agreement that we come up with or any deal that comes together will have to come before city council. So we'd have the opportunity, there'd probably even be conversations before an agreement. So we do not rule that off the table of being,
Just for information, that we own another parcel.
Yes,
Yeah.
you showed it to us before.
Okay.
We actually drove the parcel, Some of the challenges that we've come across already has been, you have a lot of multifamily, and a lot of people were not interested in more multifamily, and so we're trying to find something that maybe you can do condos, which give you, permanent residence, which is nice, in a mixed-use development. So we're looking at everything, talking to everybody. I know probably 70% of all developers that, would be interested or not. It's pretty quick conversation.
Well, the other piece that was appealing to us from the Savills background, and this is something that even from the city perspective, we're not quite as adept at, is relationships with retailers and knowing how to get in contact with, and really kind of sell this opportunity to the right folks who can be the anchor tenant.
My partner, Megan, we met. Megan worked at Somerset, and she worked for a couple of REIT mall owners. So she's got a lot of experience with all the national tenants. She brings 15, 20 years experience. It's a good mix of team. I think it's a great team that we have. Savills is not that old in this city. We're about 5 years old, but we all came from Colliers. I came from Signature. I worked for CVS development for 5 years. So we've got a mixed bag of experience, and it all come together nicely at Savills. So, and having a national firm like Savills, we tap into a database of national tenants all around the country. I mean, I was on the phone the other day with a girl from San Francisco, bringing a concept in the Detroit area, 5-store location. So it's been good.
Councilmember Gatchel?
Thank you. I do think this is a step in the right direction toward getting things developed over there. I know that's a priority for council. It has been for a few years that we've been working on buying those parcels over time. And then just to share, I'm not sure if you went into any background on our discussions within council, but council seems to be very open to all sorts of proposals for that. So I wouldn't say that, at least my understanding of where our discussions have been is that it doesn't necessarily need to be a mixed use or anything. It seems like we're very open to a blank slate mentality as long as it's going to be ultimately a good fit for the downtown.
Our hit list has been everything from medical, to offices, headquarters. I mean, we've got a huge, our list was about 200 names. Okay. So it's all diverse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And to me, it's going to be, I've done this where downtowns are not a build it and they will come. If you've experienced that, you can build it and they don't come. It's really got to be the right dynamics of what will make it work, and you got to know those dynamics, and that's the difference. I mean, a lot of the mixed uses that I've worked on across the country, from Daytona Beach to Bay Harbor, it's tourism, it's daytime population, it's medical, it's a university. It's got to have a mixed bag of a bunch of stuff to add to the dynamics of it being successful, or anything from that watered down that would work for the community. So it's all across the board.
All right, Councilmember Sharp?
Thank you, Mayor. So you're in the business of making money. I assume you have some level of confidence in success here. You wouldn't sink a year into a project and have no hope
exactly.
of...
We discussed this in detail, to be honest, because we don't want to take on a project that A, we don't look good, and B, we can't make money. So we feel that it's going to be a lot of elbow grease. It's not an easy project. I'll tell you that right now. I looked at the dynamics, and I've driven the property several times, and you got to know what the sixth sense is of that, and pull that out. And it's not easy, but we believe that with you guys being willing to work with people is going to be huge. Developers are going to look for incentives or different variances that would make the project work, and knowing that you guys are open to anything is really what made us want to do it more. It's not a strict, some of the stuff I did in Birmingham was we dealt with antique buildings, historical buildings, and can't do this, can't do that, and they didn't want color changes, and it was just too difficult. You guys are an open slate, so it's exciting.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Looking forward to see what you can do for us.
Yeah.
And with that, I've got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to enter in a real estate listing agreement with Savos Incorporated of Birmingham, Michigan for the Renton redevelopment properties located at 119, 121, 131, 201, 205, and 221 North Wixom, along with 3343 and 3360 Renton, and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Look forward to it, guys. Thank you.
New business number 3 is a recommendation to adopt a new logo and branding guidelines for the City of Wixom and the Downtown Development Authority dated July 9, 2024, and direct city administration to begin implementation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Assistant City Manager Benson.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an item that obviously you're all very familiar with. Guide Studio last presented I'd say 80 or 90% version of the logo and branding guidelines at your May 28th meeting, as well as some of the signage concepts of where we were at that point. At this particular juncture, we are ready to present you all with the new logo and branding guidelines for the city and for the Downtown Development Authority, as well as Parks and Rec and kind of our components. This is an exciting project that took, about 6-7 months to get to this point from when we first authorized to partner with the DDA to work on this. Went through many iterations, and I know that specifically with things that are visual, there are a variety of opinions. We were fortunate to have a steering committee that really invested a lot of time and effort and went through a lot of versions and concepts, both on the logo side, branding side, as well as the signage component side. We are still working through the signage piece, so we are not seeking any specific authorization to move forward on signage, and we'll bring that back to you later as we continue that kind of refining process, as well as next steps with Guide Studio. So as it relates specifically to this brand, the branding style guide, you will see the whole family of new logos and marks that are intended for use. This document guides specifically what colors we have, what typefaces we should use, how to use all of our logos in a way that we've never had before, at least as far as I'm familiar. This will be the city's first comprehensive formal design guidelines, and these will really guide everything from business cards and letterhead to signage and banners and a lot of those component pieces. So we're excited to kind of move this forward. The steering committee recommended your approval of this document. I do want to point out, just based on comments from some city council members at our last meeting, this package provides I'd say a pretty unique amount of kind of variation between individual logos and marks that we have. We have not only the horizontal, Wixom, Michigan logo, but we also have the rounded badge. We have various color iterations that are all part of the sort of approved guidelines. We can do it in blue and red. We can do it in blue and green. We can do it in, black and white. We can do it in a variety. I mean, I'm not going to count all of them, but suffice to say, we do recognize that having some flexibility, having some creativity with how we use this is something that's very important. As opposed to digging through every single page, I guess I'll open it up for questions, but the last thing I'll say is that if City Council were to authorize us to move forward, we could then move forward with updating the city's website. We would distribute this logo for our partners to have and to be able to get out there, update our social medias, a lot of those pieces, as we work towards kind of the larger, more complicated rebranding pieces that would ultimately come before you. With all of that in mind, if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Deputy Mayor Resnick?
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Assistant City Manager Benson and the entire steering committee for doing what can be a thankless job, right? A rebranding initiative is not very easy. So thank you very much for all the time and effort put into it. Ready to move forward with it.
Councilmember Gremlin Fox?
So, Mr. Benson, you talked about the different color variations. So is it the intent then to have different colors in different areas? I'm just concerned about consistency. I mean,
Yeah. When it comes to signage, which is I'm going to imagine is probably your largest concern.
yes.
How different colors will be used will be very specific on the context. So again, at the end version of this, you'll have the opportunity to really see what the signage package will look like. The 30% concepts are in your agenda packet. So just as a specific example, we may have situations where park signs, and they're in their own family, have hints of green. That'll be the green that is in the approved design guidelines, and they may not have any red. Whereas the downtown signs that have their own mark, but the same color scheme, they may have red more, or they might have green more. But the idea is, yes, they will be consistent, and it's all based on the context of the sign family.
Okay, so outside of the sign piece of it, where do you envision the variations of the color coming into play?
So the number one way that will come up is between the applications. So as an example, the Parks and Recreation one is designed to be green, and that's generally how that one would be. Most often, we anticipate that the red and blue would be the color scheme that we use for most city documents. So that would be consistent. But we'd have the option, especially depending on what it is that we're working on. There may be, we might be doing some sort of graphic with the Mission Airline Trail, and a lot of their branding is green. It may make more sense to use that, or it's something environmentally related. So the other color schemes, they're available, and it really more based on context. But the intent is to be very thoughtful to not have it be confusing. The other thing is, just as, again, a very specific example, business cards, right? So we'll have the opportunity to implement these colors that are a part of our approved palette on, the back of them. So you could have, I could be holding 3 business cards, and one has a red back, one has a blue one has a green one. Just some kind of fun thing where it adds a little bit of uniqueness, a little bit of character to what you can do as opposed to everything being the same. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you for the clarification. I just didn't want confusion. A lot of people, they recognize certain colors that go with certain brands, and I didn't want us to have a hodgepodge of, but thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Smiley?
Thank you, Mayor Beagle. Yeah, when you said something about, a green version of the logo, that totally jumped out at me. This guide is meant to prevent, any deviation from, these are the graphic standards. This is the Bible for the look and branding of Wixom. And just in case it's unclear, I interpret this, and this is the industry I come from. You would never have the the Wixom logo have any green in it. So I know there's a Parks and Rec.
It would be the X. I apologize. I should have clarified that more.
If the X was by itself in some unique purpose connected to the Parks and Rec sub logo, yeah, maybe, but never do anything to the Wixom. The standard Wixom, Michigan logo, that there should never be green in it. And they make that pretty clear in here in their graphic standards. So that isn't really what I was going to talk about. I really wanted to know was, I think the website would be the first application, the quickest and easiest. Where might we, and it's okay if you don't know yet, but where might we see this first, the new logo?
Good question.
Like I said, it's okay if we don't have that figured out yet.
No, we do.
It's okay. Okay.
We do have a full implementation plan that we've been working on with Guide Studio. That really is an incremental phase. It's what can we accomplish in a month? What can we accomplish in 6 months? What's going to take us a year or 2 years?
Okay.
The first places you'll see it are all of our social medias. We'll be able to update all of those almost instantaneously. The website will be the second.
Read the packet. Apparently it's in the packet
Oh,
here.
I included- yeah, there you go.
It's in the packet.
Thanks.
And I was going to do it off the cuff. Yeah, so
Text
you'll,
is really small, I promise that.
the website will be in short order, but you'll see it on all our social medias. Really, I'm not going to dive into every single piece, but the longest term thing will be the signages. I mean, those just take the longest to procure, and we still have some design work to do on that front. But the intent is to really, I mean, have staff rolling this out, even on things, such as press releases or memorandums, to have this implemented almost instantaneously. So you'll start to see it, and then in the larger community, it will take a little more time. But even Tim and I have already had conversations about, updating the stickers on our trucks, which still have our old website tag on it. So it just didn't necessarily need to update them, but this is a great opportunity to address that. So trucks, city vehicles, you'll see all of that within a relatively short time frame.
I'll never be able to read this without glasses. When can I get like some swag, like a sweatshirt or a t-shirt? Is that in there?
It's a good question.
Concerts in the park this year.
Block party.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah, Laura and I have been when she's a lot closer to that piece than I am. But yeah, block party. There we go.
that's September?
September 21st.
All right. That's all I have, thank you.
Councilmember Sharp?
Thank you, Mayor. I was on the committee with Councilmember Smiley and several others. And a couple weeks ago, we talked about this, and there was some feedback that maybe we didn't do enough to the logo versus what we have today. And I mentioned a case study of another big company. And I think we did do enough, and that was one of the things that the committee said we didn't need a revolutionary design. It needed to be evolutionary. But interestingly enough, if we think we like this old design and we didn't do enough, look at our design that we have today versus some of the signage around the city, like the sign at the corner of Beck and Maple Road. That thing looks like it's 1955. So we really revolutionary from that sign. So it's going to take a lot of fortitude from council to...
We've only been a city since 58.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was one of the original logos. But we got to, part of the reason we started all this was not so much about revolution, it was about consistency. And it's going to take some money, and we're going to have to be strong-willed to actually do it, because the city didn't want to do it on that corner and many other corners where to make anything consistent. Even the Village Center Monument downtown is something totally unique. There's not another sign in the whole city that looks like that. So regardless of what it looks like, we're going to have to be strong-willed to implement it. And it's good to see your list here, but we can't stop at the easy stuff. We're going to have to do the hard stuff too. And I know you guys are up to the task, so thank you. That's it.
Councilmember Gaccio.
Thank you. Looking through the packet and having been told at the last discussion we had, let it grow on you. It did not. The red and the blue, again, I'm not going to talk about it too much. I do not care for at all in the X. Looking at, for example, on page 25, the downtown Wixom hoodie, where it's just a solid blue X. I think in those uses and on some of the other examples where it is just a solid X, to me, looks much more pleasing to the eye than red and blue. I'm going to vote no against it tonight, because I don't think, this is one small step toward spending hundreds of thousands of dollars that are in our budget or proposed future budgets for signs and other things. And I don't think that this logo warrants spending that kind of money. So I feel like a yes vote tonight kind of draws people into, well, we got this new logo, we have to put it on this, that, and the other thing, and we have to spend, I think our sign budget, when we had our budget meeting a few months ago, was like $300,000 or something in the future for city signs, and that's wild to me. So I don't see it as being like we have to be strong-willed to get this done. It's spending a lot of money I don't think we should be spending on this particular logo. I wish we were more of the mind of going to a solid X. Then I would honestly probably be a yes vote, but the red and the blue doesn't do it for me. And the implementations, already hearing from council members, don't change the colors, don't have that flexibility. It kind of shows that we're a bit too rigid. I understand branding and wanting to have a consistency. That's where the X is. That's our kind of thing, as we were told at the last meeting. It's not the red or blue. Those literally have no meaning from the original logo. They do not represent anything at all within the city. So I'm disappointed that we kept them. I don't think they look good, and I think they're pointless also. Thank you.
Councilmember Behrman?
Thank you. Well, I was on the side of, I didn't think we changed a lot. Clearly, looking at where we started to where we are, we didn't change a lot. However, I really do like the plan of rolling the logo out throughout the city. I agree, the green signs coming in on Maple Road needs to be taken down. The green sign on Moon Lake Road needs to be taken down and actually found, because that's like hidden behind some trees and bushes. Coming in on Beck Road and Wixom Road, there are no signs. Coming down Pontiac Trail, there's an old rusty Wixom sign. Like, consistency is what I wanted from the beginning when we first started talking about that. So I know it's a lot of money to put signs up. I'm okay with that if they're going to be consistent, even if maybe I would have thought the logo would have been a little bit different. I'm okay with the plan, and I do appreciate all the hard work that everyone did to get to this point.
Anybody else? I appreciate the hard work that Assistant City Manager Benson put in along with the steering committee on this, and I agree that as long as it's consistent, we need to have some new markers welcoming people to our city, and things need to be updated, and as long as we're consistent, I can go with that. So with that, I've got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to adopt new logo and branding guidelines for the city of Wixom and the Downtown Development Authority dated July 9, 2024, and direct city administration to begin implementation. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
No. Councilmember Sharp?
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley?
Yes.
Mayor Beagle?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Resnick?
Aye.
Councilmember Behrman?
Yes.
Councilmember Gotchel?
No.
Councilmember Grunland Betts?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no.
Thank you. Motion carries. Move on to new business number 4 is a recommendation to authorize the city manager as recommended by the Wage and Salary Committee to implement wage and benefit adjustments for the non-union employees, including the city manager and city clerk, and adopt the revised salary grade structure for the non-union employees for fiscal year 2024-2025, effective July 1, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right. The Wage and Salary Committee met earlier this evening, and after discussion, it's been, we will recommend to the council to approve the proposed adjustments for the non-union employees that pretty much mirror what we have offered a couple of the other bargaining units in our city. So with that, do we have any questions? Councilmember Sharp?
I just wanted to thank the Wage and Salary Committee. A lot of good data, good transparency. My experience of that hasn't always been the case, so I really appreciate the work that you guys put into it, and the city administration too. So thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah. All right, seeing none, I got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to authorize the city manager as recommended by the Wage and Salary Committee to implement wage and benefit adjustments for non-union employees, including the city manager and city clerk, and adopt the revised salary grade structure for non-union employees for fiscal year 2024-2025, effective July 1, 2024. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And new business number 5 is a recommendation to set the revenue collection and processing for the city-owned electric vehicle charging stations to $1 per hour and 43 cents per kilowatt to remain consistent with other public charging stations in the area. Do I have a motion?
Support.
Very good. Mr. Sickman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And City Council, what you have before you is a rate adjustment for our charging station that's located over on Waynestock. We were in contact with Blink, which is the company that manages this for us. And what they do for us is take the credit card applications and do the charging of the residents that utilize this charging station for their vehicles. And they looked at areas throughout Southeast Michigan, and they were recommending that we take a per kilowatt approach now to the charging of these. And right now, that rate is between 35 cents and 45 cents an hour. I'm sorry, 38 cents and 45 cents an hour. And so we took the middle road on that, and we're recommending 43 cents per kilowatt for charging electric vehicles at our charging station. With that, I'll be open for questions.
Deputy Mayor Resnick?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Sigma, I did my own look back at my data.
Yeah.
The company only customer has EV, and that is very fair because I've been paying between 39 cents and about 50 cents. So it's very fair. One of the things I noticed, the Waynestock parking lot, there's two ports. I'll call them east and west.
Yeah.
Several times I plugged in, and the one closest to the east was non-functional. Should I be contacting Blink, or
Blink?
should I?
Yeah, so Blink is supposed to be contacting us when there is an issue, but of course, if it's not working properly and we know about it, we can get that repaired quicker probably.
Right.
So let us know.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Very good.
Thank you. Councilmember Sharp?
Thank you, Mayor. Director Sigma, I don't suppose we're raking in big bucks on this, are we? Two charging stations.
Yep.
I think Councilmember or Deputy Mayor Resnick kind of addressed one of my concerns, which is vandalism. I've been reading big problem, and it's not just people selling scrap metal. It's anti-EVers tearing up charging stations. Have we had any problems that you're aware of? I mean, understand that things will break down, but no overt acts of vandalism.
We have been very fortunate in that realm.
So how many hours do we?
It varies. It depends on what's going on, but it goes 0 to, 12 hours a day. But we're only, seeing like 16 to 18 hours a month on a general average from what I've been seeing. It's not that much.
I know it's about the environment, but do we even make enough to cover our expenses on?
There's really not that much.
Just doing the paperwork we do.
Yeah, we do. And the electricity charge right now is about 18 cents if you average in all of the different costs that they have based on the kilowatts. So it's, a little over double that. And we feel that for what we're providing, it's a fair rate.
I'll have to look for that on the income report that Maryland puts out.
You may not see it on the income report.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Seeing none, I got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to set the revenue collection and processing for the city-owned electric vehicle charging stations to $1 per hour and 43 cents per kilowatt to remain consistent with the other public charging stations in the area. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks. And that concludes the new business portion of the meeting tonight, and it moves on to the second call to the public. The second call to the public, the rules are the same as the first, with the exception of you can speak whatever's on your mind. Do we have anybody for the second call? Step up to the podium, state your name and address, and your reason for addressing the council, please.
Take your time.
No worries.
My name is Rachel Merchant. I live at 1755 Charms Road, Wixom, Michigan. It's not easy for me to come here and talk to you guys about the topic I would like to talk to you about, but I've lived in Wixom for 10 years. Before that, I was in Walled Lake, and before that, I was at Portsmouth Apartments, basically Wixom adjacent, for a couple years. I've been in this area my whole life, mostly. But for the past 10 years, my children and I have lived in terror over Charms Road and the traffic that goes through there. I could sit out there all day and show you 9 out of 10 people are going 40 miles an hour on my road. It's 30, and it should be 25 because the school is right there, and I live off of that road. My home, my driveway is off of that road. And I had to witness, I was a school bus driver for Walled Lake for 11 years, and I had to witness my child try to cross that road to get to my bus so I could take her to Geisler. Parents on their cell phones nearly hitting my child going 45 miles an hour on that road. And as of last Monday, my dog got killed by a gravel train semi-truck on that road. Now, I do take responsibility that my dog got out. 100% my fault. But that semi-truck doesn't need to be on that road. They could go down the dirt way. They're always speeding. They're always going 40, 45 miles an hour. I've talked to my neighbors about this over and over again through the years. We've talked to the police over and over and over again. I've offered my driveway as, you know, if you want to radar people, please do. They give us the lip service that, oh, well, we patrol it. They just drive down it. So the car in front of them and the car behind them are going the speed limit, but the cars passing them aren't. The cars that come through after them aren't. I want some real change to happen. I don't want to live in fear anymore. My neighbors next to me have small children. What's going to happen if one day they decide to run after a ball or something, or crossing the street to go to the school because they like to play there? It's just not acceptable. A couple of my neighbors were going to come, but unfortunately life happens and they weren't able to. But I'm going to continue coming until something changes. And I'll start making videos because I can't live this way anymore and I can't afford to move. It's just not fair. It's not fair that I have to look at the blood stain where my dog got killed. No one should have to live that way. I would like the road to be restricted. It already says for local deliveries only. So why are all these semi-trucks coming through there constantly? I know that a lot of the gravel trains are going to Danny's. That's not a local delivery. They're off the dirt road. So, yeah, my goal is to have Charms Road restricted to where semi-trucks go down the dirt way, except for literally local deliveries, going to the school, going specifically to this area. It's in order to keep people more safe. And I would like to see policing actually done where they're sitting and radaring people just like they do on Potter Road. I believe they do that because that child got hit and there was that hit and run. That's what I'm asking for. I want real policing on my road, and I would like the road restricted, please. That's all.
Thank you. And just for clarification too, we try to patrol all the east-west roads in Wixom because all the east-west roads in Wixom pretty much are 30-mile speed limits, and we're doing our best, and the police department will be stepping up and doing a better job in the future. So, thank you.
I see them drive past.
Yeah.
But driving past doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
They don't care. People don't
Well, yeah, I do know that they do sit further on down Charms Road, hoping that, you know, people don't see them till it's late.
If they want, they
Yeah.
can use my driveway.
Okay.
Totally open them. But I even see people passing Wixom Elementary going 35 miles an hour. That's ludicrous. Or the OTC road, 45, right at that curve. My car got hit by another person road raging over there. It's just,
All
it
right.
needs to change.
All right. We'll take note. Thank you. Anybody else for the second call to the public? Seeing none, I'll close the second call to the public and move on. City manager's comments. Assistant City Manager Benson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll try to cover City Manager Brown's report as he is feeling ill. You may have noticed this from us tonight. First thing I want.
No, just teasing.
First thing I want to note, and I may defer to Crystal on this note, but shout out to our newest Deputy Clerk, Haley Hilton, who just started with us a few months ago, or a few weeks ago. She recently completed her third year of the Clerks Institute through the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks and met the criteria to attain her Level 1 Michigan Professional Municipal Clerk MIPMC certification. Continuing education and training is important here, especially in the clerking world, and City Clerk Palco has been big on that. So glad to see that Haley is continuing that and continuing her education to the benefit of her and the city. There's also an update in the report about priority waste, although I may defer to Tim. Tim might be able to speak to that a little better if you all have any questions about the transition to priority waste.
I just want to know, Tim, did we have any complaints the first week? And if we did, how many? Because, I see on social media and I see on the media that other communities are struggling with this. And it seemed to me ours was pretty flawless, at least in my neighborhood, so.
Yeah, we had a few complaints throughout the week last week due to waste management, but nothing out of the ordinary, and actually better than it has been in the past.
That's what I was going to ask. Compared to when waste management took over, how was it?
It was much easier change there. We are looking forward to a little more work with priority in their service on answering phones and that kind of thing. However, they've been very responsive with our emails, and we've been in direct contact with them and have had really seamless issues, from the wastewater treatment plant moving the solids to our dumpsters throughout the city. They've been very responsive, so it's been good.
Thank you. Councilmember Behrman.
Will there be rebranding like there was to GFL?
Yes, there will be some rebranding to their trucks. They are not.
Like how you went through and did all the containers.
They are not planning to do much on the containers themselves. They felt that type of thing would just be an added expense that wouldn't necessarily be necessary for what they're trying to do. Their main goal is to move the waste off of the city properties and put it where it's supposed to be. So if it's the compost facilities or the landfills or the recycling facilities, they're going to get them to the right places. So that's their main goal. They are going to be redoing all of the trucks as they move to the changes in the trucks. They'll be adding cameras. They'll be adding GPS locators, and they will also be adding some tracking systems that make them more efficient. And that's kind of their claim to fame, if you will, with how they've been successful in other communities.
I do have just one last comment out of the city manager's report. Just wanted to make note that there is a household hazardous waste collection event this weekend, Saturday, July 13th, at the Wixom Public Works facility from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if anyone has any household hazardous waste, you can find definitions of that on our website. Good opportunity to dispose of that this weekend. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you. Council comments. Councilmember Gacho.
Thank you. I wanted to congratulate our two newest full-time firefighters, and just speaking with some of the other firefighters that have been with us for a very long time, that it's very refreshing to have more full-time firefighters, even in the few days or 2 days now that they've been full-time firefighters, as well as just having a much larger group of staff over there in total. They said it has helped relieve a lot of burden. So that's very nice to have them, especially promoting within as well. I'm a big fan of that. Congratulations to our new Deputy Clerk Kaylee on completing her certification as well. Thank you to our newest board members for filling in vacancies. It's a lot of times we have new board members. They haven't been on anything. These three individuals bring a lot of background from real world and experience on other boards and committees within the city in the past. So I think those are three very good additions and helpful for the future. And then relating to the call to the public, I know in the past we had used to get updates, maybe quarterly or kind of irregularly, of traffic enforcement officers' activity. And if we could maybe have one of those coming up soon. I don't know the last time we had anything like that, but that might be helpful as a council as well.
Of course. As soon as we replace the traffic enforcement officer, we haven't had one since Officer Niehaus retired over a year ago. So we haven't been able to replace him because we haven't had the manpower to do that. Our goal is to get him replaced hopefully in the August, September timeframe. Once we get our new guy through training, he just started, so, you know, Ms. Brandon Romero, the officer that we swore in last week, just started his training. He won't be done with that until November, but we're going to try to slide this traffic officer up here as soon as we can. Once we get that started, then I'll be happy to provide you.
If we can get numbers in the meantime, I think it was yesterday evening coming home, I know I passed someone sitting on Potter Road before I turned into my neighborhood. So I know that we're out there doing stuff.
Yes.
Maybe if there's just an interim compilation of here's what we've been up to, warnings, citations, what have you.
Okay.
But I think that'd be helpful, because I know the gravel trucks specifically on Charms, I know other council members that live off of Charms have mentioned over the years as well. And it's an unfortunate thing to lose a family member over stuff that we try to address, and we don't have everybody on every road, but if there are ways to kind of tackle that kind of stuff, then I think we should be pushing down that.
We are. We're pushing it as hard as we can.
Thanks, Chief. Councilmember Behrman.
Thanks. I'll echo the congratulations to our two new firefighters, and thank you to Ms. Willett and Mr. Dornan and Mr. Peterson for stepping up to the more volunteer positions, because all of you were already on something, so this is your second role for each of you. I will also echo the call to the public. I think the gravel trucks in particular on Maple Road as of lately have been excessive. I have actually witnessed one of them getting pulled over. I'm not sure if they actually got a citation. Maybe at this point, I mean, Maple Road is marked that it's supposed to be local deliveries only. Maybe we just need to pull everybody over that's driving on these streets till they stop doing it. And maybe there's no warnings, because once you give them some tickets, they're going to stop coming. And I can tell you that although I was happy to see that gravel truck pulled over on Maple Road a couple weeks ago, I've counted 12 of them since. So whether or not we have a traffic safety officer or not, they're not doing their job at stopping the trucks, and we put a lot of money into our roads. Maple Road was just redone recently, and those trucks are tearing up the street. We really need to keep them off of these roads that we pay for.
Councilmember Sharp.
Thank you, Mayor. Got a long list here. First, I want to congratulate firefighters Swinney and Lambert. Welcome them aboard. Ms. Merchant, was it? Merchant from Charms Road. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to speak to us and remind us why we're here. It's about the voters and the constituents and the residents and businesses of Wixom. So thank you for reminding us. And I echo the comments from council members Behrman and Gottschall as well. As anything we can do, we should be trying. Wanted to thank Natera North America. I see their name on here about Adopt a Road program. A few months ago, I mentioned them because I'd gone to a blood drive there, and there they were wanting to do something, and somehow city administration and they volunteered or something, but they're the maker of NGK spark plugs based in Wixom. Who knew? You know, they have huge automotive OEM presence, and they're based in Wixom. Thank you to Ms. Willett, Mr. Dornan, and Mr. Peterson for being on boards and commissions, and it's good to have you here. And maybe some of you, I don't know, Mike, if you're interested, but at some point we need new council members. I know in a couple of years we're going to need a few new ones, so good place to start. I'll say that, planning commission. And I wanted to thank Parks and Rec and the police department and fire department for Light the Night. I hadn't been to one, I don't think I went last year, but huge crowd and pretty well behaved and well managed, good fireworks show. We'll figure out the generator noise one of these years, but I'm sure it was a good night for the food truck businesses there. There's a lot of people there, and it's good for downtown, so thank you very much. Thank you.
Next year's budget, look for the item that will eliminate the
generator
noise. Councilmember Smiley.
Thank you, good Mr. Mayor. I echo a lot of what council has already been saying. My only additional items are Feel Better Tim. What's that? Steve. Oh, come on. I'd never give anybody business about missing something in the packet. I'm like, that's in the packet. What are they talking about? That happens. And then I want to thank Councilman Sharp for, I heard you left your vacation to be at the meeting here tonight, and you were already excused. And is that what happened?
That's pretty much
That's dedication.
The agenda makers piled all this stuff I was interested in and hoping I wouldn't be here.
Well, thanks for sacrificing vacation to be.
We made it home.
I don't know what that is.
We good?
I don't know what that is. It's on silent, but I don't see any emergency here. You can move on. I'm sorry.
Okay. Councilmember Relevant.
Now I'm alarmed. I don't know what that means.
So I too would like to thank Ms. Willett, Mr. Dornan, and Mr. Peterson for their commitment to the city. Thank you. And also congratulations to Haley. And congratulations to firefighter Sweeney and Lambert. And then I actually also have a question. Mr. Benson, can you give just a quick update perhaps on the code compliance?
Oh, the code enforcement officer position? Yeah. So based on City Council's last conversation, we have moved forward with looking to implement the part-time code enforcement officer route, which now that we're in the new fiscal year, we have the ability to do. So that position is currently posted. We're accepting applications. If anyone out there is interested in becoming the next Wixom code enforcement officer, please apply. Go to wixomgov.org. So we're in the process. Applications are due later this month. We'll go through the review process. If all goes well, hopefully we'll have someone starting in August. That'll be the hope.
Interest so far? Has there been?
There has been. We have a couple applications, a couple that look solid. Not nearly as many as I would like. I will admit, I think it's a difficult position to hire. Given your experience at Nova, I'm sure you know that.
Yes.
So we'll see. I mean, we've been doing, not only just kind of the regular pushes, but through the Michigan Municipal League and Indeed and other ways to publish the job. We're trying to do some outreach. So I'm optimistic that we'll have at least a couple of good candidates to choose from, but maybe not the depth of what we look like.
Good to hear. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Deputy Mayor Resnick.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I'll just echo everybody's congratulations. Welcome back aboard, Mr. Dorn, Mr. Peterson, and Ms. Willett, thank you so much. And congratulations to our two new firefighters, Sweeney and Lambert. It's great that we're getting a young force geared up again. And yeah, I noticed as well, since I retired, walking the dog along Charms, that there are a lot more trucks that shouldn't be there, and they're rolling pretty fast. And so, yeah, as soon as we can get that TSO back in operation, and again, if we've got more of those digital signs available, they seem to have an effect at certain points, right? But only at the point where the sign's at. So, all right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Very good. And I want to congratulate our two newest firefighters and welcome to the family, Wixom family, and thank you to Ms. Willett and Mr. Dorn and Mr. Peterson for stepping up and volunteering for one of the committees or boards that you are on. This city, you know, Mr. Peterson talked about how great this city was, but this city it can only be as good as the people that are there, and you guys are doing it on a volunteer basis, and I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to what you're going to bring to these committees. And congratulations to Deputy Clerk Hilton on her Level 1 Michigan Municipal Clerk certification, and I'm looking forward to the when we get the traffic safety officer back too. I mean, our officers are working hard, but on a day like today, when we've got, what, 4 or 5 accidents in the city in an 8-hour shift, that doesn't leave a whole lot of time to be on the side of the road looking for speeders and stuff, unfortunately. But that's going to be taken care of in the near future. And also, I want to thank and congratulate Chief Geisler on the fire department. I mean, the things that he's done in the short time he's been there to not only improve morale but improve response times and everything that he's done there. Thank you, and thank you, Chief Langmeyer, for everything you do with the PD and that too. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Support.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.